Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our brand new Motivation and Mindset Monday. It's great to have you here to start the week on the Cabral Concept podcast. Love being able to do these shows for you and really with you, because these are things that I think all of us are really working on. So if you don't already know, typically the day before this show comes out, I also send out a Sunday Rewind email. It's my only email of the week that I send out specifically based on where I'm at right now in my head. It's always fresh. It's always brand new material. It's things that I may have seen over the past week in my practice that I've been kind of mulling over and trying to find the answers to, and also in my own life. And so one of the things that I'd love to be able to do is I share that email with you. And then sometimes, and this seems to be something that's more popular on the show, I read you one of those emails and I give you my take, what was going through my head when I wrote that email. So again, no need to subscribe to the Sunday Rewind email, but of course you can do that if you'd like to. It only comes out once a week. And you can just find that at stephencabral.com/newsletter, and you could sign up right over there. What I want to do is I want to share with you an email that it meant a lot to me, because when I was first starting out, and you could literally do this for any part of my career or family or any part of my life, I can tell you for sure that I had no experience in it. I wasn't given anything special. I wasn't provided any special gifts or innate talents. It's just something that I began to work on and work through. And I've seen this just happen more and more throughout the years. And yes, I've tackled bigger obstacles and bigger challenges, but only because I've worked on the smaller things first. But again, I want you to know that I consider myself, for all intents and purposes, fairly average in what I started from, what I was able to do, and really how I look at life in general. I want to share that through an email that I wrote called, "Are You Average?" And that was the start to it. And it went like this. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to give you my take. This, again, seemed to be one of the more popular ones, so I wanted to break down the thought process behind it and how you can take your life from average in any particular area to extraordinary. So it goes like this. How good do you want to be? There's a Cameron Hanes quote that goes like this: be obsessed or be average. That may help you easily answer the first question above. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being average as long as you do not care about the results you're going to get. For example, I'm perfectly average at cooking, house projects, card games, and pretty much everything you could think of. And I'm well below average in other things like singing, which is painful for everyone, remembering song lyrics, or really anything musical at all. But that's okay. I'm perfectly happy in being average or below average in those areas. And here's why. It's simply not possible to be extraordinary in any area of life unless you are obsessed with being great at the thing you are working on. And being great at something, at least for 99% of people, takes years of dedication to that craft or subject. The sheer length of time it takes to accomplish anything truly worthwhile in and of itself denotes being obsessed. If you don't prefer the word obsessed, feel free to substitute it with passionate or disciplined. I like obsessed, though, because the people that seem to be enjoying life are obsessed with overcoming a challenge or chasing a worthy ideal, such as creating a beautiful family life, building a career, getting a degree or certification, researching a new topic, making art, writing a worthwhile book, or helping charity. The obsession and curiosity around this endeavor enables them to seamlessly wake up with energy and go to bed content. So what seems like stress on the outside during the day is actually them climbing the mountain. They see the summit and they are working steadfast towards their goal. They know it won't be easy, but they realize it will be worth it. And so they set forth each day upon a worthy goal. But this is also why you can't have 12 areas of life you want to be great in. Too many areas distract your focus from keeping the main thing the main thing. This is why I ask you, what is your main thing? What do you wake up every day looking to make progress on? If something does not immediately pop into your mind when asked that, I simply suggest thinking about it more, and then choose. It's been my experience that taking up a worthwhile goal, a struggle, can lead to unintended happiness. That was the end of the Sunday Rewind email, where, of course, I wish you all of the best life has to offer. Now, what I'd like to do is this, though, because there are points of this that I think need to be fleshed out a bit more. Now, I can't do that in one email, of course, but that's what our podcast, that's what our Mindset and Motivation Monday is all about. It's really, how good do you want to be? And you might say, well, when it comes to, like, for me, singing, I don't really care if I'm good or not. Like, that doesn't matter whatsoever. Perfectly happy being below average, perfectly happy not being able to carry a tune at all when I sing. Like, totally fine with that, right? So it's like, how good do you want to be? Well, in terms of a father to my two daughters, I want to be the best that there can be, right? I want to be the absolute best. That doesn't mean taking away from any other, fathers out there. That's not what it's about. It's the best that I can possibly be, right? When it comes to being a husband, the best that I can possibly be. Same for hopefully a son to my parents, a sibling to my siblings, etc., right? When it comes to my work, I want to be the absolute best I can be, right? The best that there is from my potential, what I'm looking to do. That's what I'm looking for. Again, other areas like cooking, like, okay, I'm totally fine with being average or being able to come up with a few good recipes, or that's it. Like, that's, again, so when I ask you, it's like, well, have you taken up anything that you feel is worthwhile of your time? And if you have, how good do you want to be at that? And if you want to be extraordinary, not extraordinary, right? Extraordinary people think that there's a level of ego or being conceited to it. And it's not the case at all. I have a whole podcast on extraordinary, becoming extraordinary, right? What we would call extraordinary. Well, all we need to do is not be ordinary in that particular thing, right? Most people are ordinary, right? We go about our days in a very ordinary manner. When it comes to, like I said, cooking or card games or household projects, hanging a ceiling fan. Yeah, I'm perfectly average and ordinary in those particular things. Not something I choose to be great at, right? But what I have done is I've then come up with a few things in my life, not 12, as I said, but a few things in my life that I want to be great at, right? That I want to be the best I can possibly be. Now, once I've chosen those, what does it take? Well, it takes everything you have. Literally, it takes everything you have to be great at those things. And you might say, well, that sounds like a lot. And it is. It is a lot. That's where the obsession comes from. But when you look back on your life, what gives your life meaning? Just living an ordinary life? I don't know, maybe. Maybe if that is what you're looking for, then that's perfectly acceptable. It's just not what I'm looking for. So when I look back 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now, hopefully 60 plus years from now, what do I see? Well, I think about all the things that I was obsessed about. Family, relationships, my work, my research, my practice, friendships. Like, that is what I'm obsessed over. Because to me, those are the things that I believe will matter the most. It's like the career that I'm going to be able to pass on. Like, not the career for the sake of having a career. For me, it's deeper. It's a mission. It's a teaching. It's open sourcing protocols. It's building the iBone app so that future generations of practitioners will have this. And millions, tens of millions of people all over the world will hopefully have benefited in a wellness-based manner from the protocols and the research that we've done already and that we will continue to work on. That's an obsession, right? And you might say, well, obsessions are unhealthy. Maybe, but so much healthier than being obsessed then about going out, consuming alcohol, all of those things, right? Like, that's my obsession lies with what I feel is going to bring great benefit to myself, my family, and the world around me. And again, like I'll be a father for the rest of my life. But I have to obsess, in my opinion, right now, when my daughters are 8 and 10 years old, into making sure that they know that I'm there for them. that they know that I love them, that they know that I care for them. And so they always have that thought as a child with them through the rest of their life. I'm not sure that I can make up for that 20, 30 years from now. Maybe you can, right? Maybe you can. I think it's more difficult. So I also am acutely aware of the different seasons of life that I'm in. I think in 10 years from now, my youngest daughter will be in college. If I wanted to go all in on, creating some other type of, research or project or whatever, I could do that. But if that's going to consume even more of my day than it already does now, it's not a possibility. So what I'm also thinking about, what's the hierarchy of my wants and not my needs and my priorities? So it has to be there, right? You have to have that. And so it's not difficult for me to balance my family life, my relationships there, friends, all of that, and my work. That's not difficult for me to balance. But now if you want me to add in, right, even when I start training for like a sprint triathlon or I do other things, it takes away an hour of my day, like an extra hour that I wouldn't have. Like I can get in my workout, I do that 4 or 5 times a week. I love it. Like that my HPH protocol is what I do, right? But okay, so let's think about it in a little bit different of a manner though. Now I add in an hour more, 4 days a week of biking, swimming, etc. Well, that takes away for sure, definitely takes away from either work or family. I'm not going to let it take away from family, so now it's taken away from work. So you can see like, okay, that's one more. I could make it happen because I could start to prioritize in certain areas. I could push things around a little bit. Okay, so I do that. But now I add on writing a book. Okay, well, there wasn't space for that before, so now I add that on. And another thing I add on is, really getting deeper into archery and practicing that for an hour a day or 3 or 4 days a week. Or I get into jujitsu. Like the reason I don't do martial arts formally anymore is simply because there's no more hours in the day, right? There's literally no more hours. So, and I have a tendency to be obsessed about the things that I really love. And so what I ask you is just to simply say, and where I ended that email is this, is that what wakes you up every day with unlimited energy? Because you have to understand is when you're obsessed with working on something and you think about it and you want to be extraordinary at that thing, your mind's going, your mind, not racing, your mind's thinking about, oh, okay, yeah, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. Oh, that would be an amazing idea. The excitement about the possibilities becomes endless because you're always looking to say, how can I grow? How can I become better? So for me, it's like, okay, well, let's say in terms of like relationships with my wife, okay, where's a trip that I could take my wife on that I think that she would really enjoy? What has she been talking about lately? So I become a little bit more acutely aware of her needs, of what she's thinking about. Same with my kids, like, oh, what would be a great family trip? What would be a great family experience? I talk about these different, games we play at night, like Totem I've talked about before, or Better You, or, all these different, I'm teaching them how to play blitz chess right now. These are experiences. And so the way, though, that we have to keep things interesting in our own life as well is we're always looking at growth. We're looking at not necessarily new opportunity for the sake of new opportunity. It's actually bettering our current self. And that is a form of obsession. It's getting better at being a better you. And the nice thing is I feel no need to compare myself to anyone else. I don't feel a need to live up to anyone else's potential but my own. And I don't truly know my own potential. What I try to do is just get better at who I was yesterday. And that's what I ask you is like, well, you don't need to compare yourself to any of your siblings or friends or social circle or coworkers. It's just like, how can you get better in 1, maybe 2 areas? I really find it hard to imagine someone picking more than 1 to 3 areas maximum. So if you feel like you're a little scattered right now and not making progress in any area, it might not be that you're not working hard enough. It might be that you're working too hard in too many different areas in order to be able to become obsessed in 1 or 2 different things where you can begin to drill down and actually at the end of the day be like, wow, I accomplished a lot. Like I left nothing left today, meaning I worked on this, I worked on this, I worked on this. Okay, I wanted to get this. I'm going to write that down for tomorrow, right? That's tomorrow's project. So you see what I'm saying? Now you already have something for tomorrow. You have something to look forward to. You go to bed content. And when you wake up, you're excited. You're excited to work on whatever the new thing is. So when I narrow it down, it's always like, well, what am I looking at? I'm looking at health. I'm looking at body transformation because I need this body to be able to carry me through 100 plus years of life, right? So I have my health. Got my body, can't wear out my joints, can't wear out my body, right? I have to keep it at a healthy weight because I won't be able to make it to 100 if I don't. Okay, then I've got my relationships with my family, I've got my career, I've got the things that I'm passionate about, and then I have the spirituality, which is just simply like, for me, again, you can believe in God, you can believe in the universe, you can believe in all of it, right? Or you can believe in like, do I feel connected right now in my life? Do I feel like I have purpose? Do I feel like I have meaning? Right? These are deeper questions we begin to ask ourselves. And for me, I use the term, as we kind of slip into happiness, right? It's like, well, I wasn't really happy before, but I started to get obsessed about something. I started working on a particular project. Next thing you know, right? 2-3 months have gone by. You've grown so much. You're excited about waking up every day. You're feeling good at the end of the day that you've accomplished so much as you're working towards a worthy ideal. And lo and behold, you're happy for almost no reason at all. Well, not for no reason at all. You're creating a life for yourself on purpose, right? You're living on purpose. You have given yourself meaning. A lot of us wait for meaning to come to us. I can tell you for sure, I've never found it. Again, like maybe somebody else has. But the meaning has always been created through the life I've continued to live. So if I focus on growth, if I focus on expansion, if I focus on service of others, all of those things, by me simply taking action and moving through the process, gives my life meaning. When I feel like I'm passionate about something and I'm living a life of meaning, I am happy. I'm going to bed happy. I'm waking up excited for the day with energy. I'm happy. So I think a lot of times as we're chasing happiness, we might be after the wrong thing. I was there myself. I can tell you for sure I was there myself in my 20s. I realized that when I'm focused on the things that bring me happiness, not happiness itself, lo and behold, there was happiness. If I'm focused on how can I improve my relationships, how can I improve my work, my career, my friendships, my body, my health, all of these things. When I'm focused on that, depending on whatever season that I'm in, the happiness comes to me. And so as I said to you, if something doesn't pop in your mind when I ask you, what do you wake up every day looking forward to making progress on? We need to pick one of those areas. Should we make progress on your health? How about your body? How about your relationships? How about your career or what you might be passionate about? Or how about your spirituality? My goal for you is to choose one of those. And once you do, and you've made that choice, work forward on it. Read a book on it, begin a program, start with a coach. Whatever works for you, just get the ball rolling. You'd be surprised. The more you read, the more you learn, the more engaged you become. I'll tell you right now, I knew nothing about health until I got into my 20s. Nothing at all. Like I didn't know about good nutrition. I didn't know about anything. And so now, as I'm starting to work through the material, I should say then in my 20s, I'm like, I had no idea any of this existed. I didn't know that you could do this with your body. I didn't know that you'd be able to improve your hormone levels, your digestion, et cetera, by following this, this, and this. And that is the spark that leads to then the obsession. And it'll be a healthy obsession because you're focused on improving healthy qualities within you and not competing against anybody else, but actually bettering you. You competing against the you yesterday. And as you get better, you're going to notice that progress. You really will. It's going to lead to confidence. And then who knows, 2 years down the road, you may not even recognize yourself. I really feel that way. It's like, yeah, I've always been the same me, but I've simply gotten just a little bit better every year. And that compounds on top of each other. And the confidence that allows you to then go after your dreams, things that you never thought you would go after 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe even a year ago. And the reason is that you hadn't never taken that first step first. So take the first step. The first step is always choosing, right? You ask yourself the question, how good do I want to be? After that, if you don't know what it is that you want to work on, choose. Simply begin to work the progress. I'm telling you right now, the path will unfold for you along the way. Thanks so much for tuning into today's Mindset and Motivation Monday. I appreciate you. I thank you. As always, if this was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.